3.5 years ago, I supposedly won the game. I'd hit my retirement number, I'd listened to the podcast, and I'd followed the fire movement, and I retired. I did exactly what everyone says you're supposed to do. And honestly, for me, well, that probably was a mistake to retire while I was still enjoying work. We're told that work is a cage and retirement, well, it's freedom. But after the honeymoon phase wore off, I realized something uncomfortable. I really wasn't the retirement type. I guess I knew that before I retired. I actually liked the structure work provided. I liked the friction of solving problems. I like making a difference in a way that a hobby or busy work just can't replicate. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't hate retirement. I think I'm experiencing what is called the retirement void, and maybe a mild case of the winter blues. While the retire as early as possible crowd focuses heavily on the math, it often ignores the math of the mind. For many, especially introverts like me, work provided a social scaffolding or structure that a sense of earned dopamine or purpose that is incredibly hard to replicate in retirement. I don't think I'm failing at retirement. I just realized work, well, it wasn't just a paycheck. It was my playground. Here's the thing I think people don't tell you about being an introvert in retirement. Work, it gives us a forced structure for social interaction and purpose. Without it, the world gets very quiet very fast. When you're working, you have a reason to engage. When you're retired, you have to manufacture that reason every single day. And frankly, for me, it's exhausting. I'm making this video because I think there may be others like me. People who feel the pressure to retire just as soon as the numbers add up, or feeling guilty for wanting or thinking about going back to work, or wishing, like me, they had never stopped working. We've been conditioned to think that working because you want to is a sign of lack of imagination or not having a complete life, being free and independent. But maybe the real financial independence isn't quitting work. It's having the power to choose the work that gives you life, even if you don't need the money. So if you're racing toward a finish line just because a retirement spreadsheet told you to, take a breath. Ask yourself, what am I running to? Because for me, over 3 years in, I've realized I didn't want to stop working. I know if I'd hated my job or was being aged out or physically could not perform, I would be singing a different song. If I had a burning desire to travel or pursue other interests, well, that would be different. For many, maybe most people, retiring as early as possible, well, that's probably the best decision. But all I'm suggesting is just because the financial math says you can retire, you should retire. No, not at all. Please consider the math of the mind when timing your retirement. Retirement needs to be more than just a financial decision. Give heavy consideration on what you're retiring to as much as what you're retiring from. Or should I say, what you're retiring from as much as what you're retiring to. I hope this gives you something to think about. Let me know. Wes out.